Hello everyone, welcome to CIS277. This is Bob Hendry and today is the 24th of October 2019. So this is your lecture, or at least an introduction to the class for today. Now before we get started, a few things about where we're at in class and a couple of minor changes to the format of the reading and the viewing. Now, first of all, we're just over halfway through the semester, so hopefully you guys are all caught up with your assignments, or at least catching up with your assignments. Now, if you need any help with your assignments, please reach out to me sooner rather than later, which most of you have. This is just kind of a reminder. And also, some of you still, or about half of you, still are finishing up your midterms. So if you could get that to me as soon as possible, that would be great. I can get that back to you just as soon as I can. Now, remember, your midterm is only 10% of your grade, so don't agonize over every single point in it. I mean, that's one of the things that I mentioned before. One of the drawbacks of doing a majority of your assignments on your own time is sometimes you agonize over every little minuscule point, where if you did it in class, you would just turn it in and you would just kind of get your grade and then kind of be done with it. Now, so if you need help with anything like that, just please get back to me as soon as you can, and I'll get you any of the help you need, either with your midterm if you have any questions or with your assignments. I also want to point out that in addition to being really available at any time virtually, either via email for quick questions or WebEx. Some of you have used to contact me, but I'm also on campus on Tuesdays and Wednesday nights, and also on some Friday afternoons as well. So if you need help that's other than our class time, please reach out and let me know what's on your mind and when's a good time to meet. Like I said, the best times for meeting you guys is either during class time, if you can make it. If not, I can meet you again, like I said, on Tuesday or Wednesday evenings, afternoons, from usually 5 p.m. all the way until 9. The best time is the best way is usually to reach out to me, make an appointment. But if not, you don't always need to. Just let me know when you're going to come in, and and if you could, please let me know what's on your mind or the problem that you're having, so I could prepare and I could maximize your time with me. Again, I'm here for your success. Let me know what you need from me, and I'll be glad to make that happen. Now, also, if you look at the calendar, we only have, including the lab that I assigned to you today, or the exercise, the assignment that I assigned to you today, we're really only down to about 3 more between now and the end of our semester together. So if you're kind of getting the feeling that you're overwhelmed right now, this is really the last hump. If you look at our syllabus, we have a couple of weeks that are, I won't say off, but I'll say where assignments aren't due. So we kind of have went over the point of no return insofar as the big push. So if you could kind of stick with it, it doesn't get any worse than here insofar as your load and the stuff that you need to get done. So if you're looking towards the end of the rainbow, we're getting there as far as metaphors go. And that goes to, like I was mentioning before, to the beginning, or actually just after the beginning of December. I believe our last class week is December 10th or so. So that's kind of where we're at insofar as where you should be with your assignments, my availability if you need my help, and also kind of like a state of the class of as far as assignments go. Now, another thing about that, actually 2 more things. One is a change of syllabus. Now, what I did do, and I don't expect you guys to look at the syllabus every day, and you probably don't look at it at all, but what I did is I changed up a couple of things. I replaced your 2 presentations or your 2 written papers due at the end of the semester to regular lab assignments like we've been doing. I kind of took a look at what I kind of expected, at least in the beginning, about doing a term paper. And I don't think that I planned this correctly with you guys. Not that you're not capable of doing it, but I probably should have spent some more time with it as the semester went, but since I wasn't able to give you that time with it, I replaced your papers with some more traditional lab assignments. So just take a look and take a look at them if you want to, and you can see what's due. Now, for those of you, I don't think any of you started with that, but for those of you that may have started your paper, I'll still accept it from you. I'll give you extra credit for it if you still A, want to do it, or B, have started doing it and want to complete it. So if you're in that camp, let me know and I'll work with you on that and I'll give you extra credit for your paper. If not, we're not going to do the paper. We're going to substitute a regular lab assignment. And again, look at the syllabus for due dates. Look at the syllabus for what the topic of the assignments are, just like the other ones. And they'll fit in kind of like with the work that you've been doing. And number 2, as far as change of procedure goes, what I've done starting with this lecture now is I'm going to take your actual demo or my demo, the demo that I actually do, and I'm not going to put it in the lecture like following now. Usually that's where you would expect it. I'm going to put it in your regular viewing and your reading. So that way it's more consistent with what I want you to view and to read for that current week. Now, a couple of you have mentioned as a suggestion to do just that, knowing it or not knowing it. Like I'd get an email saying, is your demo part of our reading? And I'm like, well, it isn't. It's part of the lecture. And a couple of you mentioned like would be easier for me, being you the student, to put the demo portion of my lecture in the viewing where your other viewing is. So that way, if you're catching up, you see this all in one spot. And I guess that makes sense. So what you're going to see now between now and the end of the class is you're going to have a short like intro like you hear me doing right now. But rather than going into the demo, you're just going to go into the viewing, into the assignment itself, and you're going to see the link there like all your other ones. I think it's going to be a lot simpler for you guys to actually just do it that way. That way you're not looking for my lecture. Not that I don't know why it would take longer to look for it, but it will all be in one spot that way. So from now to the end of our time together, you're only going to get maybe 10 or 15 minutes of if you're taking this remotely, you're only going to get about 10 or 15 minutes of me like now, just giving class announcements, due dates, assignments, kind of what's going on. And then from there, you're going to go to your assignment, and then you're going to see with your regular viewing, you're going to see my link as well. So I'll be part of the regular viewing. Makes sense to me. So we got that going on. See, what else am I missing? Okay, I went over where we're at in the class. I went over the procedure changes. I went over what you should be working on. I went over my availability. Oh, okay. So let's continue. Let's talk about what our assignment is or what our subject matter is this week. Now, what you have been doing is you've been working on your Java programs and you've been working your Java scripting or Java program scripting. JavaScript's a whole different language. And you've been working on your Python. We're going to take a bit of a break from coding this week, and we're going to go over a little bit more about cloud computing. So that's going to be the topic this week is cloud computing. Now, specifically, we're going to talk about the cloud in general, and we're also going to talk about infrastructure as a service and platform as a service. And then we're going to, the demo is going to be, is I'm going to introduce to you a product and also an infrastructure or a cloud infrastructure called DigitalOcean. Now, what DigitalOcean is DigitalOcean is a cloud provider for infrastructure. So rather than, back in the old days, you going to Best Buy or whatever and getting a server and configuring your server, getting it all up and going, what you're going to do now is you're going to do that via infrastructure as a service, via products such as DigitalOcean or Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure, all of which we're going to cover a little bit later. So this week we're going to specifically talk about, and now I'm going to demo, DigitalOcean to spin up servers in the cloud. So by the end of this course, or by the end of this week, you should have a good understanding of the cloud in general. You should have a good understanding of how platform as a service works. You just should have a good understanding about infrastructure as a service and how that works. And you should also have some hands-on expertise in spinning up servers in the cloud using DigitalOcean. Now, as far as your assignment goes, I posted, I believe it's assignment 8. I have to take a look up on our website. So that should already be available for you to start looking at. And as part of your assignment, I want you to spin up a server, a virtual server using DigitalOcean. And that's part of your assignment. So as you're watching my demo, I encourage you to watch it, not necessarily, do it with me, but kind of take some good notes, and stop the video, restart it, stop it, restart it, and look at what I'm doing insofar as spinning up a virtual server, because that's going to be your assignment. Now, for your assignment, you're going to need one of two things. You're going to need A, your own account on DigitalOcean, or B, if you don't have your own account on DigitalOcean, you can use mine. So I'm going to tell you my user ID and my password. My user ID is my email address, which is bobhendry@envisionsoft.com. You're going to see that in the demo. Again, bobhendry@envisionsoft.com. And my password is BOB, as in Bob, N as in Nancy, TAM, TAM 11. So it's Bob, N, TAM 11. That is my password. So use my user ID and my password for spinning up your own server in DigitalOcean, and please follow the assignment as well. And while you're doing this, I might get an email, specifying like what your temporary password is for your server. You'll see what I mean. This might sound like it's like a lot to handle right now, so don't frantically be writing this down. This will become obvious as you're doing it. So as you're spinning up and your virtual server, doing your lab exercise using my account, it's probably going to be a good idea to be contacting me either via email. Again, this will become apparent while you do it, and to send me, ping me and say, hey, Bob, this is Jim or Sandy or whatever your name is, and I'm going to be spinning up a virtual server using your user ID and your password. That way I'll know it's you, and that way I can forward you the information, because you're going to get like a temporary password to log in as the admin user for your server. Again, for the 25th time, it's going to sounds really complicated. It's not going to be. Once you get there, you're going to kind of know what you need to do. Everything will be okay. So that's kind of some special instructions for your lab. One thing I want to point out about DigitalOcean. DigitalOcean, I've been using professionally and academically for years. It is an awesome organization for using infrastructure as a service. If you need to spin up a Linux server, there you go. They don't do Windows servers. If you need to spin up like a Windows server, you're probably going to have to use Amazon Web Services to do so. We're going to have some instruction on that as well, on Amazon Web Services and EC2, or Elastic Cloud 2, which is the product that you use to spin up any servers such as what you're going to do in DigitalOcean. And also you have some support for some Windows servers, which you don't necessarily have with DigitalOcean. I love DigitalOcean because they're reliable, they're easy to use, they're inexpensive. If you need to spin up servers that run a website, WordPress, quickly and easily, cheaply, we're talking starting at $5 a month. It sounds like I'm a salesperson for DigitalOcean. I'm really not. But I'm a big fan of theirs. So I'm incorporating them and teaching you about them and showing you how you can spin up servers fairly easily. DigitalOcean, I think, is the way to go. Now, like I said, I am going to do some Amazon Web Services. I don't think I'm going to get to Azure. Maybe I will this semester, because we're starting to get a little bit out of the whole scripting sort of thing. But the cloud is part of this. So it's worthwhile, at least for us, to have a unit on this. And what we're going to do is we're going to be using our virtual server that we're going to be spinning up today, or at least in today's assignment. Hopefully you're going to be doing this week for the rest of the class. We're still going to be using Coding Ground, Don't panic. We're still going to use that because I love coding ground. But since you're going to have experience spinning up your own virtual servers, I want to incorporate that in the scripting that we're going to be doing, because realistically, you will be doing that as part of what you're doing in this class, as far as, writing Java code, writing Python, and other scripting languages. So we're still going to be doing some Ruby and maybe some Perl. Like I said, I'm still deciding exactly which scripting languages we're going to use, which we're going to continue to be using. Sorry, I know I'm kind of channel surfing here. We're going to be using, in addition to Coding Ground, we're going to be using our virtual servers that we're going to be spinning up on, that we're going to be spinning up on DigitalOcean to do just that. So exciting stuff. I know I sound like I'm covering a lot of things all at the same time, and I probably am. So at that rate, upon further ado, I'm going to end the introduction to the course. And at this point, what I'd like you to do is look at your assignment. Look at your viewing. The first link in your viewing is going to be my demo. The last part of my lecture is going to be my demo on using DigitalOcean. So when you're watching my demo using DigitalOcean, just take notes, slow down the video, watch it again. You don't have to follow along with me because you're going to be doing just that with your actual assignment that I'm asking you to do. So thank you for listening, and I bid you a very well rest of the day. See you in the demo.